Well, thanks for joining us here at Eagle Auto Repair. My name is Vince, and today I want to compare new cars versus used cars, buying versus leasing. So let's go. Let's get into the video. This 1920s Model A behind me is where we need to look when we start looking at the way things have changed. Back in 1929, those Model A's, by February 4, 1929, they had sold 1 million of those vehicles. And in a few months later, by July, their numbers were up to 2 million. Here's the interesting part. That Model A sold in 1929, brand new, for $500. You could also upgrade and get the Town Car, which was the higher end version, for $1,200. Quite a contrast. Now, if we fast forward a little bit and we go to 1970, we see that in 1970, the median price for the average car was $3,542. Price of gas was only 36 cents a gallon in 1970. And then in about 7-year time span, we saw that price of gas jump up to over $1, approaching $1.36. And what happened was 1974. That's the thing that changed in America, along with many other countries. But the oil embargo of 1974 caused a lot of upset in the market. Inflation, the price of manufacturing, everything, cost of doing business went up. And so we had a huge gap. So just between 1971, when we were at $3,500, $3,700 for a vehicle, by 1975, the price of the new car went up to $4,950. That's quite a change. And here, just in the fourth quarter of 2020, the average price of a median vehicle is $40,179. Now, if we look at statistically how that works, most customers, based on an Edmunds report, put down about $4,000, almost $5,000 on a new car purchase. And so things have changed dramatically. And you know, one of the things that's changed the market, and you know, when I was working in the dealership, I saw this in the early 1990s, late 1980s, early 90s. They reinvented an old concept. People think leasing is a new concept, but it's actually an old concept. We go back again to between 1914 and 1920. There was a gentleman named Frank Zolli. He's credited with inventing the lease. Leases look very appealing to a lot of people, but there is some downsides to it. And I think the number one problem with it is that you're paying money every month, really nothing on the principal of the loan. You're just kind of maintaining the payment of the initial new car, and then you're going to give it back to them. You've earned nothing. You have no equity. They get the car back. You still need to make a car payment, whether you at that point purchase another vehicle or continue to lease a different vehicle. So you don't really gain anything from leasing. The couple of things you do gain are, you know, your monthly payments are a little bit lower because you're not paying back any of the principal. You're just borrowing and repaying the difference between the value and the residual value. So you're also paying some finance charges. And so some of those advantages are, you get to drive a car for the first few years of its trouble-free existence. You're probably not going to have any issues with it. You can probably drive a better vehicle than you would normally consider purchasing or driving. You don't really have to worry about the changes with value, regard to value, because when it's time to be out of lease, you just give it back to the dealership. So, and then I think for business owners, you know, that's one of the other things to consider is there are some tax advantages if you're a company and you're leasing vehicles. But there's plenty of disadvantages. So, you know, lease contracts also are going to have the mile marker, right? You have a certain amount of miles, 1212, or, you know, whatever it is you end up paying for mileage. If you go over that, they charge you for that. So, and then they're They're going to charge you for wear out items. If there's any scratches or dings or anything on the vehicle that needs to be repaired, if the tires are worn out, those things get charged back to you. You don't want the early termination fee either. If you get into the payment of the lease and then you figure out, hey, I can't budget this or it's not working for me, if you turn it in early, they're going to charge you fines and fees for that as well. So that's some of the things you know, that we have to look at. As far as the new cars, you know, again, you're going to lose some money. So you can buy a good certified car, a certified used car, which takes you into that. Generally, those are going to be under a certain mileage. Usually it's a 40,000, less than 40,000 mile vehicle. Depends on the manufacturer and their stipulation. But they're going to be pretty nice vehicles. Not brand new, but again, you didn't take the percentage, the 20% loss on the new vehicle purchase. So there's that to consider. And then from there, you start moving down into, you know, the different levels of used cars. So again, it kind of depends on your budget. When you purchase a vehicle, the longer you own the vehicle, especially after the loan is paid off, number one, you don't have payments continuing, but you're going to continue to get value out of the vehicle. So in a long-term situation, the least expensive way is to buy a car and keep it until it has no value or is uneconomical to you at that point in your budget. But in reality, the real market value is what someone's willing to pay. So as an example, most every dealership, whether it's a small car lot or a name brand dealership, the bottom line is they're going to make $1,000 at least on every vehicle they sell. That's the bottom line. They go up from there. So depending on how they acquired the vehicle, what costs they have in repairs or whatever, in a used car situation, that's going to dictate the price. So same thing, private seller is a little bit different because usually with a private seller, if he has a loan on it, it's usually the money he owes. Deals are out there with private sellers still. So that's one of the best ways to buy it. But the biggest thing is you need to get yourself a good, honest mechanic. You know, here at Eagle Auto Repair, I'm constantly telling my customers, shop it around. You know, I had a call, as a matter of fact, today from a customer of mine. I just couldn't get the vehicle into the shop in time, and I referred him to another business because it's my priority to see that his wife was going out of town, and it's my priority to get that vehicle on the road for him, even though it's really doesn't, you know, I didn't do the work. I didn't get paid for the work. So, but I did recommend him to another facility that's going to be able to take care of it in a timely fashion. And he's happy. I'm happy because customer retention, you know, that's what we're all about, is making the customer happy. So you need to find that situation. And these guys, you know, they're out there. Mechanics are some of the better repair shops and honest technicians. They'll service your vehicle and take care of you, and they won't sell you things you don't need. So that's the situation you need to find with that used car. And I hope this information's been helpful. I want to thank you for joining us for a few minutes out of your busy schedule. And we would like to have you consider subscribing, hit the notification, ring the bell for notifications so when we create a new video, you get notified. So again, as we always say here at Eagle Auto Repair, thank you so much for joining us and have a blessed day.